Welcome to the Back 9 Six-Pack with Mitch and Justin. Let's roll.
Hello and welcome to episode 34 of the Back 9 Six-Pack. My name is Mitch, joined as always by my esteemed colleague Justin. This is a stressful night in this room. We're sweating out fantasy football stuff. You got the Packers on Monday night.
Just an all-time bad timing for this podcast.
This poor planning. Who set up this podcast on a Monday night?
All right, let's go ahead and rip this. And it's honestly, let's just talk about it right now. It's a stressful time of year, right?
Yeah.
I'm 2 Christmas parties in. Just the industry I'm in, there's Christmas parties every week, every day, especially the last 2 weeks. And unfortunately, I'm off to a terrible, terrible start in these Christmas parties. Just when I think I can't get further over the skis, I get further over the skis in the next one. It's just a brutal start to the Christmas party season for me, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there are worse problems to have, but I do commiserate with that. Social events ramp up this time of year. It's hard to give all of yourself to all of the things, Thankfully, I don't have too much of a stress of gift buying. My wife, shout out Susie, handles pretty much all of that.
I don't do much of that.
But people that have that on their plates, that's a big deal this time of year, especially with big families.
Yeah, it's then you throw this in there, and then specifically fantasy. This is our last week going into the playoffs. Little controversy yesterday. We're going to throw it down on the table. We just got to get it out with there. Little controversy.
I think it's all going to come out as a wash anyway, so it's fine.
It's not going to matter. But my brother had some stuff go on. Forgot to take a guy out of his lineup that was out. He is eliminated from the playoffs. He just so happens to be playing me. We thought there was collusion. I actually changed my name in the league to add in collusion into my name. Not going to go through the story. My name is House Cat in there, but I changed it to House Cat Collusion just to make everybody feel like it might have happened on purpose, but it did not. I will tell you, my brother, he lives to beat me in things, just like any brother does. And he's beaten me in the last week. I can remember at least 4 times. So definitely didn't happen on purpose, but there was definitely some controversy yesterday.
Yeah, no one cares about our fantasy league, but I will say real quick, it's a 3 for 2 spots situation. Justin needs me to lose. I need him to lose. That's not going to happen. So now I need somebody else to beat someone else. It's just a giant cluster, to be frank. So,
yes. But
a lot of mediocrity in the league this week or this year.
I digress. Yeah. Yes.
All right. Well, while we're here, go ahead and subscribe, rate, and review our show if you have not done so already. I think even if you have, you could probably go back and give us another 5 stars, another review. Yeah. Why not? Just to be safe.
No, never too many.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Switching, since it's the winter season, we talked about it a little bit. How was your first virtual golf experience of the winter here?
It was good. I'm not going to name names. Someone flaked on us.
Ooh.
So I had to play with an 18 handicapper, just me and him. He got to hit twice. We put up a good fight, but we do scramble. This is what we do. It's goes quicker. Yeah, you play in I think we played in an hour, maybe 2. There was 5 of us. Even if there's 2 threesomes, we play an hour and 15 minutes. But it was perfect weather. Honestly, if it wasn't super wet, I think we could have probably played real golf. But it was good. Shout out again, no free ads, but Miles of Golf by us is. They've got monitors on every bay. They've just got a good setup there. So
yeah. I'll have to we'll have to get out there, maybe do a little, intra back 9 6-pack rivalry.
Oh, absolutely,
shootout or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll figure it out. Well, from that somewhat happier topic to one that I think could be a little bit of a downer here. Look, before we even start this, we are for sure not the podcast that's going to be following live golf rumors, who's playing where, who's getting paid what. Not for us.
No, there's enough people doing that.
Yeah, so go seek out those sources. There's plenty of podcasts and actual journalists that are doing that kind of work. For us, I just wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about sort of the state of the golf fan, right? Like, it's been bleak for a while now.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it a little back in like May when the PGA was about to start. I think most of us thought after the signings last year, like, all right, it can't get much worse than this. And then we have the whole they're going to make a deal with PIF. Okay, can't get much worse than this. Just from the infighting and all this, and Rom leaves. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know, but it's bleak for sure.
Yeah, and so obviously that's the sort of the professional golf side, right? With the PGA Tour kind of seeming on the verge of collapse in a lot of ways. Liv making the move to get Rom, but like in general, that's a small slice of for us at least what it means to be a golf fan, right?
Yeah. So
in that part, it's the highest level of the game. It's it's the NFL version of golf, correct? It's, the professional level. We enjoy to watch it from a competition standpoint.
Best collective talent, too, in the world, right? On that tour.
And so, when you weigh just all the stuff that's going on with that versus, we like to just go play golf. The golf that we play, we're fans of weekend warrior style golf, right?
Yep. Beers, walking,
Yeah. I might shoot 73. I might shoot 93.
Yep.
That's what we're talking about. Playing games with your buddies, all that. Scrambles, tournaments, anything and above, or everything above that. There's also kind of been an uprising of like sort of what I would call YouTube golf or social media golf.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of curious, what in your golf fandom, how do you rank these things at this current moment?
That's a good question. And I was kind of thinking about that because I was never a big, like my brother's huge and he watches all the golf guys on YouTube and that's like kind of his thing. He does watch professional golf, obviously, but he's kind of got me like, hey, like watch these guys. Like he got me into like, I was never a big fan of like the Bryan Bros. Like I knew who they were,
yeah,
but I was like, I'm gonna watch them. Like some of their content's unbelievably good. Then they, everybody kind of like intermingles. You got guys that each go on each other's channels and they play matches and stuff. For me, and then like the stuff we watch, right? Like the no laying up guys that kind of got us interested in starting to do our own thing.
Yeah.
They've got great programming on there. It's not tournaments per se, but to me, from an entertainment standpoint, that stuff is becoming more entertaining for me.
Yeah.
And I think you probably fall pretty close to that too, I would think.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, like the golf that we play is the most entertaining thing that I find in golf, right? Just us out there with our buddies, even just going to the range. Like me, myself, playing golf, by far number one in terms of enjoyment.
Yeah.
Golf.
I guess I forgot to say that. That for me as well. Yeah.
But in terms of the golf that we watch, I mean, and speaking directly to like the no laying up guys, as you mentioned, what they do great is give you like a sense of people and place in their golf content. And I think that's what we enjoy most about golf, right? And I think that's why I enjoy their stuff so much.
Yep.
Professional golf is just, I'm not going to say any of this as eloquently as I mean to, but throughout all this like back and forth with Liv and the PGA Tour and paying guys and like raising purses and all this shit, somewhere along the line we lost the plot that the PGA Tour and professional golf is just that. It is professional sport competition.
Yes.
You hear a lot of people talk about like the entertainment aspects of it and all that, right? Watching Jon Rahm play golf doesn't entertain me inherently.
No, I feel the same way too. Yeah.
Watching Tiger Woods play golf was entertaining, but that was because you put it in historical sports perspective. He was doing stuff that nobody's ever done outside of maybe Jack Nicklaus, and it was just watching greatness.
Yeah, once in a generation player. Yeah.
That's a little bit different. But like, we watch professional golf just like we watch the NFL, like we watch college football. It's for like the pageantry of the game, for the competition, the history books, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, in the last 2 years, all these golfers with this irrational money coming into the game and all this stuff, they're not worth that. Like, their entertainment value and their careers are not worth that money.
Yeah.
And it's got this outsized thing of what golf entertainment is, and it's definitely not the PGA Tour or LIV.
No, and you make a good point with they're not worth that, right? Well, I think you're correct. Especially if you take a step back, right, and you look at other sports and what guys get paid. Someone said that like the Sunday of the Masters was like just behind viewership. That's how guys like. This is how these guys get paid, and that's every sport, right? The more viewers you got tuning in, the more the TV rights are going to be worth, the more you're going to get paid. That's, and I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but that's how these guys get paid. The Sunday at the Masters, probably one of the most watched sporting events, or at least events on the PGA Tour, period. Mm-hmm. Specifically Sunday. Someone said it was like just behind in viewership, like some random Monday Night Football game last year.
Exactly.
So think about that. But yet, there's not a single guy in the NFL making. Now they've got 52 guys and stuff like that on a team, but even like the top-notch players, the richest contract is $275 million. And you've got guys, leave the LIV guys out of it, right? Guys like Patrick Cantlay, who apparently is driving the boat right now, according to reports.
Cool.
I bet if you asked him, he would tell you he would probably be worth $300 or $400 million, and it's just not. It's not even realistic, right? So I don't know where we go, but like, yeah, my golf comes first, and I'll tell you, this is when this whole LIV thing. I would say in the last year and a half, I've gotten into like I love watching college golf. They've started to have more of it on TV.
Yeah. To
me, like it's the most pure as far as entertainment, and you can actually watch it on TV. It's the most pure. Like you got guys out there, playing for a school, and to me, it's entertaining, and they're great golfers. I mean, these tournaments are on TV are not. We're not watching like, no offense, like I went to Division II school, but you're not watching like hacks out there. Like these guys at some point are going to probably play professional golf. But to me, that's why I started kind of watching that, because I feel like that's now missing from the PGA Tour, and it's all about money. It has nothing to do with tradition, even though guys will tell you it is. That's the selling point of the PGA Tour. Well, I think that's gone on the wayside at this point. Like that, So I've actually gotten into watching college golf, and the teams that I can't watch on TV, I still follow. Like it's funny, I got my Murray State shirt on today. For the old Tiffin University golf coach went to Murray State. I still talk to him pretty regularly. Like I follow them. I obviously follow my alma mater. Like I follow college golf because to me that's fun. Like, I don't know. Like,
sure.
I used to think the PGA Tour used to be fun, and it was fun to watch. Entertaining, no, but it was fun for me because, these guys are just unbelievably good at their sport.
Right.
So, but yeah, I don't know where that leaves us as far as, I would say on my list, if I was ranking things out, it's probably fourth, like the PGA Tour / LIV, whatever, professional golf. It's probably fourth or fifth on my list at this point.
Yeah, and I think I should separate out the majors from the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
The majors,
Sorry, like we still love the Masters, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. The majors mean something, and they do matter. But yeah, and you said something too about like the college golf and all that, like or amateur golf even. Honestly, like the courses are kind of what makes me tune in more than the players a lot of the time.
Yep.
Like the field at Pebble Beach is shit every year, but I'm still going to watch on a Sunday to watch Pebble Beach. Like
yeah. And they have the pro-am, that's entertaining, right?
And then the same for, these high-level college and these, big amateur events. Like they're going to like Bandon Dunes and Riviera and Pinehurst.
Awesome courses.
Like I'd rather go watch that over I'm going to just bury a course, but I don't know, like the Byron Nelson or something.
Yeah.
Like, where the hell do they play that now anymore? Like Trinity Forest or something?
Yeah,
I don't
something
know.
like that. Yeah. But I'll tell you this, one of my favorite tournaments in the last that I've like sat down and watched on TV was the USAM at Bandon Dunes like 3 years ago.
It was so sick.
The fog was rolling in. Like, these guys aren't playing for any money. It is like a trophy. And obviously they get your name on a trophy that have just numerous amounts of legends on it. It was like so pure. So pure.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what's missing. Like, you know, as much money as Tiger made, it always felt like he was out there just to bury people. Like, it was like, yeah, the money's great, whatever. But he was out there to like, I'm here to win every single tournament just because I like winning. And I don't know. I just don't feel like we have those guys anymore. And to compare them to Tiger is not fair.
Right.
But to me, it's like, okay, like a starting pitcher, right? Like he wants to go out there and, you know, the secondary stuff is the money, right? But he wants to go out there and break records. Like there's still baseball players that you see watch and you're like, man, he plays this game because he loves it. And he gets paid well to do it, but he also really, really loves it. Like some of these guys, like at this point, is like the money is taken over so much. Like it's almost like they just look miserable out there.
Yeah, and I mean, the PGA Tour was a mess. It probably was structured the wrong way. Like it needed a modernization to it. And all of that can be true. These guys should be getting paid more than they probably were getting paid, especially the high-level guys.
Yep.
But to your point, like honestly, John Rahm, I thought was like the guy that felt that way about golf.
I did too.
And he pretty much said so himself this summer. And look, I'm whatever, however many hundreds of millions of dollars he got, sure, go get the bag. I get it. But also, it is also true that he completely sold out based on his own quotes.
He did.
So
yeah, I mean,
I just think at the highest level of every sport, if the main plot and storyline isn't winning on the field or on the course or on the court, what do you even have? Like, I don't.
And I think that I don't think the PGA Tour has that anymore. Like, it's just, hey, how much money is this guy going to make if he makes this putt? That's all it is.
And you know who cares about that? Nobody, except for that guy, his wife, or
and his
whatever,
caddy.
and his caddy.
And his kids, if they're old enough, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, part of me is starting to follow tours that are below, you know, our Corn Ferry and things like that. Monday Q on Twitter.
Yeah.
Probably one of my my favorite follows now, because he does a great job at highlighting guys that are just, look, they could have packed it in a long time ago, been a insurance salesman, but they're out there playing because they want to continue to play the game they love, and they're not making a lot of money to do it. Which is, again, kind of become one of my favorite follows, because it's refreshing in a world of golf that we live in today to see guys like, this guy's been out here. He's never played in the PGA Tour event. He's been doing this for 10 years. You know, he's living in his car. You know, to me, that is way more respectable than what we've kind of grown into at this point.
Yeah. I don't have much else to say beyond that. It just, like I said, just as a golf fan and a fan of, you know, watching the PGA Tour and the majors and all that stuff, like, who knows where this is going to go? I don't know. But, I mean, we have a tournament that's supposed to be happening. Tournament champion's supposed to happen in, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Is that even going to happen? I don't know.
Yeah. But, you know, I do want to add this. Rahm did sell out, but, you know, don't say those things if you're even remotely thinking about doing it, right? But then again, it's like, it's funny. The PGA Tour is like, all right, we're about to make a deal. And then all of a sudden it like went on the back burner. Like the PGA Tour thought like, oh, it's going to go away. Like we appeased them. We brought them into the room. We didn't quite do a deal. And now all of a sudden it's like, all magically, I think it was yesterday, it got reported. It's like they did it on the PGA Communications Twitter page. It's like, we're now back in negotiations with PIF and blah, blah, blah. It's like, wow, I wonder what caused that. Like,
exactly.
And I think that the PGA Tour is just asleep at the wheel. Jay Monahan has got to go. And maybe it is like we've talked about it how many numerous times on here. Maybe the saving grace is Tiger Woods as a commissioner.
God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, which I kind of made the joke about that like months ago at this point, but honestly, it feels like it's a lot more possible today than it was back then. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think you first said it in like May of this year.
I don't know. It was a while ago, but yeah, like I said, there's too much emphasis, in my opinion, placed on this idea of it being entertaining. And
to me, it's not. Yeah,
it may as well be a movie or a Broadway show or something. Then at that
do
point.
I sit down and watch it? Yes, but as far as like this is must see TV. There's we just 4 tournaments a year that are must see TV.
Yeah,
and if it's a Ryder Cup year, 5. You know.
Yeah, and then
that's about it.
There's probably going to be like 4 or 5 other ones that you get a good matchup on Sunday and you flip on your TV for. And that's, kind of it. Like I said before, the entertaining part is the athletic competition on the course. I don't really care. I mean, if it's Rory or somebody going for some sort of history or something, that makes it better.
Yep.
But inherently, I don't really care who's making what money and which guys are on the TV.
That does nothing for you. Like, it's not like, oh, if he wins, I get a piece of this.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, it does nothing. That's why I always find it, that would be like, any other sport, right? Where they're like, oh, if Aaron Rodgers throws a touchdown pass here, he gets a bonus. They hardly, every once in a while you'll see them, like, especially if it's like a lower guy, they're like, it's like, well, that was a big reception. He needed 80 receptions this year to hit a bonus. But they don't do that for every guy. That's what they do. Like, now that's what the game has become on the PGA Tour. It's all about, oh my gosh, look how much money this guy won.
Now, the difference there, though, is like, that's still, he's getting paid for his performance on the field.
Yeah.
These, like, they're just getting paid just to be there.
Now, realistically, so is the PGA Tour with the PIP.
Yeah, that's just a convoluted.
It's just a way for them to hand out
competition.
checks.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
But I guess from here, I don't know where we go because the problem is we've now, well, not we, the PGA Tour and LIV have now made it seem like, or to these players, that they are worth this. So I don't know how we ever backtrack out of this.
It's a true, like, toothpaste back in the tube situation here.
I mean, and maybe there's way more smarter people than out there than I am, but I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how you get that toothpaste back into the tube, even if there is some kind of merger after this. It just, these guys are they just have no idea what their real value is, and these numbers that are getting thrown out for Rahm and this, Tony Finau and all they're not worth that.
I mean, LIV is truly unsustainable. It's not a business. It's not a successful business model. It literally is just them burning as much money as they want to burn. And they can do that however long they want, I guess. But, I mean, they're not...
LIV is no different than any other startup, right? Regardless of field, what they do. Or, like, they're just like a tech startup. They're just like any of these startups. They're burning through cash and saying, we're disrupting everything. It's seriously no different. Like, you look at these new tech companies, they're like, it's like, man, this technology is unbelievable. But they're like losing money at the speed of light. You know what I mean? And that's essentially but they're disruptive. You know what I mean? And that's realistic what it boils down to is it's not sustainable. And if these guys think that money is going to be there even after a merger, they are high.
I just kind of been thinking about this as we're talking, but I honestly am getting to the point, and I would love to be wrong, but I feel like the best case scenario at this point is golf becomes tennis.
Yeah.
Like, it shows up for the 4 majors that people care about. You get some good matchups there. The rest of the time it's just on in the background. There's going to be these dudes over here playing on the CW. There's going to be these guys playing TGL in a dome. There's like, I don't know what's important and what matters.
The only people that are going to be making crazy amounts of money are the most marketable people.
And nobody cares, and they won't watch because of that. So
yeah,
like I said, it feels pretty bleak at this current juncture.
Which leads us back to the first point, right? Like, what do we find entertaining? I find guys that are just like us, with the no laying up guys, when they go do a episode of Strapped. If you've never seen Strapped, pull up YouTube, watch every season they've done. fantastic, and I think you put it perfectly in the beginning. We like golf for the places and the people.
Yep.
And I did a video like not even a month ago, like kind of recapping my year. It was I was like, why do I love golf? It has nothing to do with, I won, $1,000 one time in this tournament. It has everything to do with the people I've met playing golf and the places it's taken me. I mean, that's realistically what I love golf for. So
100%. That's a good way to put a bow on that conversation. And I might need to crack another beer after that one, too. That was dour.
It's upsetting. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, I guess one last point before it honestly just feels like a slap in the face to Tiger Woods because we spent our lives growing up watching that, and that's why the PGA Tour mattered, and that's why the majors mattered.
And then now, let's just call it what it is. He built these pots would never be anywhere near what they are if Tiger Woods never existed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just imagine. Anyway.
All right.
Okay. Fun times now. We haven't done a power ranking for a minute. Probably since Halloween, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When I got roasted over Tootsie Rolls. But yeah.
We're going to do our best our favorite Christmas songs.
Love it.
And when I was doing this exercise, I will say there are just an absolute shit ton of Christmas songs. It is impossible to sift through all of them.
And there's tons of them that are the same song.
Different people singing
by different
them,
people,
different
and some of them are better than others.
Yeah. Fact.
Yeah. I tried to keep mine I don't know, like the originals, like the people that wrote the songs. I'm looking at my list and I don't think I have one that's not like an original. Like this song is they made the original one. So it should be fun.
I would say just in general, my Christmas music sensibilities skew to like the OGs, the older songs, kind of the crooner style.
Yeah.
That's, kind of what I grew up with. Christmas and Christmas music to me, it was like big family get together at my grandpa's house, and it was like Frank Sinatra on in the back. You know what I mean? Like that's just what I have.
Dean Martin and Bing Crosby,
Elvis, and all that.
Elvis.
And those names will pop up throughout here. So I naturally kind of skew that way. But what I did kind of do, at first I started with a giant list. I was like, I'm just going to name all the songs that I like.
Yeah, I didn't list them out, but I went through a Spotify playlist that I've been listening to.
Yeah. So I got to get all my honorable mentions out of the way before we start. And I even categorized my honorable mentions because I had so many.
Jeez.
So these fall in the bangers category for me, right? These are just Christmas bangers. Probably the newest song on my entire list is 1998. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays by NSYNC. I think that's my favorite of like the new gen Christmas.
So that was my first one on the honorable mention as well.
Okay.
Just
your boy JT.
Look, absolute banger. Devin, who I work with, huge NSYNC fan. That song's come on at least 4 times when I've been around her since in the last 2 weeks. And she's as happy as the first time she heard it, every single time she hears it.
Yeah, so. Susie also a big NSYNC fan, and I think this would probably be in her top 3 if I had to guess. So had to get that one on there. Step Into Christmas, Elton John, fire. You would know it if you heard it.
Okay, yeah, maybe. Yep.
And then rounding out the bangers, honorable mentions, Little Saint Nick by the Beach Boys.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's on my honorable mention too. Yeah, that is a great, great Christmas song. Low-key great Christmas song.
And then, so I also have a classics category. I couldn't pick one of these, so I couldn't fit them in my power rankings. But basically the entire Charlie Brown Christmas like soundtrack. So Vince Guaraldi, Christmas Time Is Here, O Tannenbaum, and it's not really a Christmas song, but Linus and Lucy, kind of like the Peanuts theme music.
Yes.
All fire.
Yeah, all go with the season, for sure.
All of them come on, nice piano, soft tunes, really good mood setters. Winter Wonderland, specifically the Louis Armstrong version.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah.
Another one, and then I had to put You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch in the list just because it's honestly pretty funny. If you listen to the lyrics, like some of the insults he lobs out there, the Grinch, pretty like high-key insulting.
Oh, yeah.
Downright mean even.
Yes, pretty much.
So those were my.
I didn't have I had 3 on mine. We got to 2 of my honorable mentions. Only because of the song. When I hear this song, I think the one part in a movie. We'll get the movies next week. I'm gonna spoiler alert. My favorite Christmas movie. It's in one of the scenes. Christmas Vacation.
Sure.
Maliki Maka.
Mele Kaliki Maka.
I fuck it up every time. But the scene when he's like looking out the back window, imagining the pool. It was so close to being on my list. The one I had on here, because that song's been made quite a few times, but the original's Bing Crosby.
Yep.
So.
No, good call out. Also, before we start the power rankings, I'm going to go ahead and trash one song right now. I'm swimming against the tide on this one big time. I know she's a Christmas queen. I get Mariah Carey and All I Want for Christmas out of here.
Yeah.
I'm done with it.
It's so overplayed. It really is. And I think by December 25th, all these songs get overplayed. But
sorry, All I Want for Christmas Is You. I need to correct the record before someone gets on me for that.
I mean, it's just, it's overplayed.
They just roll her out there every year. She's lip syncing it the whole time.
It's her annuity, man. Like she makes like I think it was like upwards of $10 million a year just on that song,
which is great and awesome for her. But I don't need to hear it anymore.
No, I don't either.
All right, that kind of rounds out honorable mentions. And unless you
I
got
do
somebody
have
you
one
want to
more,
dump
and
on.
I was trying to remember the name of the song. I didn't want to mess it up.
Sure.
"Someday at Christmas" by Stevie Wonder
Yeah.
is a fantastic Christmas song.
Another
But
good
that's, and then I could put the whole Trans-Siberian Orchestra in one bucket. I think all their stuff's pretty good. I went to see them probably like it was before my first kid, so it was probably 9 or 10 years ago. We saw them down in Cincinnati, downtown Cincinnati. Fantastic concert. It's a concert in like a storyline, so it's really they usually have a different story every year, but all their stuff's pretty good. They have so many songs at this point where it's like I couldn't pick one.
I picked one and hit my rankings. So we'll
okay,
talk about that.
all right.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll start out first. Coming in at 6, Elvis, "Blue Christmas."
Higher on my list.
Wow. Okay. I love
synergy
Elvis
there.
Christmas. Like, it's a great. But that song is. I grew up with that one. Grandparents, Elvis. The whole 9 yards.
So this song, I will just go ahead and spoil it. That's number 2 on my list. Every year we would go help my grandpa set up his Christmas tree, and every year it was the Elvis Christmas soundtrack, on the CD player. And I can still, to this day, every time the song comes on, I just hear my grandpa singing "Blue Christmas."
Yeah, it's a great song.
And it just, especially since he's passed, it's obviously great memories, but like "Blue Christmas" and the meaning of it, kind of hits you right in the feels.
100%.
Yeah, that's number 2 for me. So I'm full in support of you having it number 6 there. My number 6, "Last Christmas" by Wham. I am a sucker for George Michael. People will torch me for this one, including my wife. Look, it's a sad song, maybe, whatever. I was trying to explain myself earlier. Christmas is, it's supposed to be a joyous season, but, not everybody has a joyous Christmas. We got to be inclusive of all feelings at Christmas time.
Have you seen the music video for that?
Yeah, but it's been a while.
It's kind of weird.
I'm sure.
Look,
it's George
This
Michael.
is on my list, but it's kind of weird.
Oh, you have it on your list too?
Yeah. Fuck yeah, that's a banger, dude.
Exactly. Low-key banger. We're here for it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad to hear it.
So my 5, "Please Come Home for Christmas" by the Eagles.
I think that's the right version of that song too.
The Eagles, yes. Yeah. That's a great version of that song. I don't know. It's like just one of those ones that I just kind of levitate back to. But yeah, that was 5 for me.
I didn't say this off the hop, but I will say another theme of my choices here. Like, I feel like a good Christmas song is one that it comes on and you know it from the first note.
Yeah,
like it comes in hot.
Yeah.
And one of those songs that does that, my number 5, "Wonderful Christmas Time," Paul McCartney. You know it from like the synth sounds. Yeah, it's absolute fire flames. Nothing else needs to be said. Paul McCartney's the GOAT. So.
Yeah, it's on my list as well. Yep. 4 for me. This is where "Last Christmas" comes in.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's a banger. Not top 3 material, but
No. But it's
4,
one
I feel like, is a pretty good landing spot for that song.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier, it's one when it comes on, you know it's that song. And for me, too, when these come on, it's like I'm happy to hear it. Some Christmas songs that comes on, you're just kind of like, God, like, I've heard this so many times in my life.
Yeah, it just kind of gets
the ones
old.
that kind of stand the test of time and stick around with you, and you're actually looking forward to hearing them. Those are the ones that...
Yeah, and like a different take on Christmas music, right? Like you said, none of them have to be happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you, my number 1 is like, it's got to be the happiest song in the world, but none of them have to be all... Because Christmas, there's a lot of people deal with some stuff around Christmas time, right? It's like the end of the year... kind of reviewing the year, you're like, God dang, what did I have done with my life?
I mean, Christmas is like such a, it's such a, what am I going to say?
Like time for reflection.
Well, and it's such a marker for the year, right? Like you remember Christmas and you remember specific Christmases. And not all those times are, you might have a relationship that ends around Christmas. You might have one that begins around Christmas.
Yeah.
There's like I said, all kinds of feelings around Christmas, and there's Christmas songs.
Definitely
for
a
everybody.
major mile marker within the year, for sure.
Exactly. All right, so we're up to number 4.
Yeah.
This is Trans-Siberian Orchestra time.
Which one?
Christmas/Sarajevo 1224. That's the one that everybody knows.
It's the banger.
Yeah. And also forever makes me think of The Office and Dwight with the Christmas moment. They're all in there like jamming out, playing the song. So, yeah.
By the way, just like Christmas episodes of TV shows.
Yes.
Put in the place of any Office Christmas episode. They're all unbelievably good for different reasons.
Yeah.
But that one is...
We watch them every Christmas, and obviously, the Bell Snickle episode is just peak Office, peak Dwight.
Oh, yeah.
But also, an underrated moment that I will forever laugh at is when, I think it might be like the Benihana Christmas episode.
Oh,
and Kevin is singing "You Ought to Know" on karaoke. And it brings me to tears almost every time.
The Benihana Christmas one where they, like, Michael Scott breaks up with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Then he goes and brings, like, 2 girls from Benihana's back to their Office Christmas party.
Yeah.
And the best part of that episode is he couldn't remember the girl he brought. So he marked one of them with him.
Marks her with the marker.
And then gave her a used bike for Christmas.
Just unreal.
Oh, God, I need to go back and watch all those episodes.
Yeah, that's a good annual tradition for sure. All right, you're up to 3 now, right?
Yep.
All right.
A Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney.
Yep.
Again, like you said, as soon as you hear the first note, you're like, oh, I know the song. So, yeah, it's... That is definitely top 3 worthy.
Yeah, I had it at 5, but I mean, I honestly could kind of flip flop 3, 4, 5 for me. Number 3, White Christmas, Bing Crosby.
It's on my list too.
Oh, we have so much synergy on this.
By the way, I'd never seen that movie. Obviously, it was part of a movie, Holiday Inn. I'd never seen that movie until like the 7th grade. And ever since that point, I'm like, I love that song. That's it. By the way, if you've never seen that movie, Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, just historically great movie. Not even outside the Christmas genre, just in general. It's a great movie.
Is the movie not called White Christmas?
Oh, no, there's another one, Holiday Inn.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
okay.
Yes. It's called White Christmas. Yes.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
There is another one that's called Holiday Inn, which is another great movie, by the way. But yeah, the movie's called White Christmas. It's just a great, honestly, non-Christmas songs from that movie. The Sisters song.
Yeah.
My kids love that song, by the way.
That's a good one.
Like they
I
just
get it. And their sisters.
They're all girls,
Yeah.
It's like they love that song. Like it's probably within the first 15 minutes of the movie. So
yeah, White Christmas number 3 for me. Bing Crosby, just maybe the ultimate pipes. Honestly, just
one of the best musicians to ever live.
Yeah,
as far as like vocal musician,
exactly, vocal artist.
Yep. So that's my number 2 was White Christmas.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again.
And we already mentioned my number 2, Blue Christmas. Again, Elvis, all-time pipes as well.
This is where I don't think either of us have named our number ones in the process of doing this.
I hope we have the same number one, but
Run Run Rudolph by Chuck Berry.
that's your number one?
Yeah.
I almost put in my honorable mentions. The song slaps.
It does. And honestly, it's so happy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's short, too, by the way. It's only like a minute. It may be like just shy of 2 minutes long. I've always loved that song. I don't know why. My kids, we get in the car now this time of year. That's the first song they ask to be put on. They just love it. And I do, too.
That's awesome. Yeah, I almost put it in my bangers category of honorable mentions. But I'm shocked that my number one didn't hit your list because I think this is just like the correct take, like objectively the correct number one. The Christmas song, Nat King Cole. Chestnuts roasting on open fire.
I like it. I wanted a banger for my number one.
Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
I think I did forget it. It's a good song. It is. Let's put it this way: it's like one of the original Christmas songs. Like I think when commercialized Christmas kind of started taking over.
Yeah.
It's a good song. I did forget to mention "Baby It's Cold Outside" is definitely any version. That's definitely one of my favorites.
That kind of came into some controversy, but hey.
But I do like it's a good song. I would say it'd be an honorable mention for me.
The Christmas song it is like peak Christmas. It's like you're under a blanket by the fire, the tree's on, kids are in bed,
sipping on some bourbon or
got an
wine
old fashioned, exactly.
A Miller Lite. I mean, whatever you're. I'm more of like Christmas Eve. I'll switch to the wine. Got to have a little class. Miller Lite's classy. Don't get me wrong, but
winter brings old fashions for me. Like I get on such a kick.
Yeah, but it does. It'd be like, kids go to bed, you and the wife are just sitting down, no TV on, just enjoying, the fire or whatever. Yeah.
Especially you get some snow outside. Oh, it's like truly the coziest of songs.
I haven't had a white Christmas in a while.
Yeah, no, we rarely.
They're honestly overrated.
Look,
slightly overrated.
I think we both are on record that snow is overrated in general.
Yeah,
but
it is.
If it's gonna snow, like Christmas snow is always a little bit magical, so we'll take it for sure.
Yeah, they we haven't had one in a while, which I'm not like overly disappointed. My kids have, I don't know if my kids have ever had one. I just remember distinctly, like you were just talking about, like Christmases you remember. Vividly remember a Christmas back, I think I was in like 6th or 7th grade, where we had a gigantic snowstorm the day before Christmas Eve. And like getting out and about to do anything was just almost impossible. And it kind of ruined it a little bit. Like, oh, we got a white Christmas, but you can't drive anywhere.
Right.
So, overrated.
Yeah, I feel like if I would have had a snowed in Christmas one of those years where, I got my Game Boy Color or the N64 or something, that would have been just peak Christmas. You're just snowed in, probably got some good food at the house.
We were going to do movies next week. We might have to... We might have to do two. We might have to do movies and then best gifts we've ever gotten.
Well, I think we could holster movies. Maybe do that next year, but I'm down to do best gifts. Yeah,
I mean, I had... God, yeah, super... Like, I just remember every game system I ever got, essentially.
I know, that's going to be like the top of the board for sure, but,
Some form of a Nintendo.
Exactly.
So or maybe a Nintendo game, one of the two.
So we'll figure that part out then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's probably time, right?
Let's head to the patio.
Head to the patio. There's no snow on the patio yet.
No, not yet. Still perfect patio sitting season. We're supposed to have a little bit warmer weather this week. But Patio Beer segment is sponsored by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. And again, it travels across all seasons. My favorite part, the Pacific Northwest hops, right?
Obviously.
Adds all the flavor. And then I know your favorite part. You're a little more health conscious than me. But what's your favorite part?
96 calories.
That's it. There it is.
I got to say, underrated can, too. We haven't talked about the can.
Yeah, it's iconic.
Iconic, classic can.
It's like this, you got Statue of Liberty, the Lincoln Memorial, the Miller Lite can. Those are all in the same category.
Just American staples,
yes,
truly.
Yes. But appreciate Miller Lite sponsoring us again. I'm
going to go.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I'm sticking on the Christmas theme, so let's just keep rolling Christmas. This can be past or present, but what is your favorite Christmas tradition?
My God. Did you look at my sheet or something?
Is that the same question?
I swear to God, I got a backup one, so we're good.
Okay.
So when I was a kid, because I obviously, you know, when you get a family, you kind of start your own.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, it was Christmas Eve. We all sit down, watch It's a Wonderful Life on Christmas Eve night. Easily, not even close. It's fond memories. Then when I got old enough to drink, it's like I'm still living at home when I was in college or whatever. You know, me and my dad dig into some kind of alcohol and sit there and drink and watch It's a Wonderful Life. But yeah, that by far my favorite memory. It was, and the show, that movie is. You want to talk about pulling on heartstrings? Like, depending on how you feel at that moment or in that Christmas, boy, man, I've had a couple Christmases where I just remember like things happen out of my control or whatever, and just being in a weird headspace, just losing it watching that movie.
Yeah,
and that was as a kid. I still do that by myself. Obviously, my kids are too young still. They go to bed. They wouldn't be like super interested in that movie yet. But now with kids, the day before Christmas Eve, we go out, get hot chocolate, drive around in the car, and look at Christmas lights.
Yeah.
That's what we do every year. And we spend every other Christmas in Texas. Even when we're down there, we do the same thing.
Nice.
So.
Nice. Yeah, I was thinking similarly. I've got, the one from my childhood that I most is like stuck with me. Every Christmas morning, my grandpa would come over and my dad would cook like a massive like Christmas breakfast. So like we'd wake up, Santa would come. Within like a half hour, an hour, grandpa would be walking in the door and get to have like a breakfast just with him was awesome. That was always my favorite growing up. And then now, like you said, I mean, getting to start your own traditions, like, I mean, I love all the memories and traditions of, we grew up with and all that. But like, there's something special about, seeing and seeing the holiday like through your kids' eyes, and it's just different. Couple that we do, we go get our Christmas tree every like the day before Thanksgiving. So that's always fun to do every year. This year was super awesome. Like Zach's of the age now where he's kind of like into it. So that was cool. And then we also, so we're doing it tomorrow. We're going to see Santa, and then we go to Skyline after. Very Cincinnati specific thing. So yeah, we go see Santa, and then Zach decided 2 years ago he wanted to get Skyline after, and since then we've been doing it just because of that.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. So those are the ones that have stuck with me for sure. And the ones that we're doing now. It's
cool. Look, I love all the memories of my kid, like my Christmases as a kid. Never had a bad Christmas, like, or anything like that. We've always, and we did kind of the same things. But yeah, starting your own. And it's so funny. We actually started that whole Christmas light thing before we had kids.
Yeah, you guys went.
And then, like, when the kids were born, it's like, this is what we do. Like, me and Danielle, I remember our first Christmas as a married couple. We were living in an apartment. It's like, she's like, I just kind of want to, like, drive around and, like, look at Christmas lights. I'm like, you know what? That sounds like fun. And then it was like, hey, there's a Starbucks. Like, let's stop and get. And then it just kind of happened. You know what I mean? And then we've done it every year since. I have started to enjoy, like I said, we go, I guess, kind of a tradition, semi-annual, or I guess, how do you say it? Biannual tradition of going down to Texas. And then every year when we go down there, we kind of split our trip up with a trip to Lubbock. We go to a Texas Tech basketball game. Random. It's so random. But what we do is we split that trip up, and, we go, like last year, we stayed in a hotel and spent the day up there. That's probably what we're going to do from now on. But going down there, because now my wife gets to, like, have her Christmas, like, it's hard. She doesn't see her family for Christmas, but every other year.
Yep.
So it's fun to get, like, see how she spent Christmases as a kid, because we go down there and it's like, hey, they have this really cool light show, and it's like, we don't live down there, so we go see stuff like that. So that that's somewhat of a biannual tradition that we have, that we go down there. And I wish we stayed at the Gaylord like 4 years ago. For like 2 days in Dallas, and that was fun because their Christmas decorations. I wish we'd have made that a tradition, but a little expensive. But
yeah, sounds expensive. Yeah, and I guess too. So when I was younger, my family used to do we would do a massive like Wilcox family Christmas, and it was all my cousins, aunts, uncles, all that stuff on both sides really. And we kind of stopped doing that after a while and just started doing our own thing. And we celebrate, my family does Christmas Eve, so we do Susie's family on Christmas Day. And honestly, it's like perfect. It's so much better, in my opinion, to have like, I don't know, just like that intimate, immediate family kind of grouping. It just gets kind of unwieldy once you start getting, 30, 40 people deep for Christmas.
So, yeah, well, I know that pain because since we moved into our house back in 2019, my cousin down in Kentucky used to host it. For whatever reason, we stopped doing it in a hall, which was perfect. But we started having younger kids. Not a lot to do in the hall, other than talk.
Yeah.
So we started hosting in a house. She had it. She sold her house. The same year I bought mine. And then all of a sudden it was like, Justin, you want to host it? And I'm like, the first year we're like, because we were going down to Kentucky every year. It was like, absolutely. Yeah. Like my kids can we don't have to book out early. They can go upstairs and go to bed for all I care. You know what I mean? But man, we're 50 deep at this point. And, and then you because I'm one of the younger cousins, I've got their kids, my cousin's kids are they're adults.
That's
we have a handful of adults. One of my cousins she's got a 19-year-old. He's an adult. It's getting steep, and I'm not my house is by no means gigantic. Thankfully we have a basement. Just send all the kids down there. Just let them put everything up breakable and just let them go down there and just have at it.
Yep.
But I know that, and that's this Saturday for us, and it's definitely getting very, very tight. I wish we'd move it back into a hall, but apparently that's not in the plans in the next couple of years. So
keep those Miller Lights stocked.
Oh, God.
You're going to need them.
Well, we got kicked out of my basement because about 2 years ago, me and my cousin's husband, we just disappeared into the basement and never came upstairs. It was just we're just going to hang out down here, just hide from everybody.
Yeah, that's always a mistake. Sounds great at the time.
I had people in my family, Justin, you been here? I'm like, I've been hiding from everybody. You literally saw me for the white elephant thing we do, and that was it.
Yeah.
So.
All right. What's your backup question since I stole your question? Sorry.
All right. So you know what? I didn't know this was a big difference through everybody as far as what people do. It's Christmas related. But what was a normal thing that you would get in your stocking? I didn't know this varied from person to person, but it does apparently. What they've traditionally got in their stockings.
Typically, growing up, it was okay, you're going to get some fruit, you're going to get some candy, you might get chapstick or something else small you might need, and then you would get one thing that was a CD or a book or it's sort of the keystone of the stocking, right? The main gift.
Yeah.
But then everything else was kind of just little trinkets, little snacks, that kind of stuff.
Okay, because
candy canes, whatever.
To me, that seems normal. But I was talking to someone the other day. They're like, "Yeah, we used to get underwear and socks. That was it. That's what they got in their stocking every year. Underwear and socks."
I kind of appreciate the simplicity of that, honestly. Then you don't get it as a gift. You know you're getting it, so you don't have to buy it for yourself.
Yeah,
it's a necessity.
As an adult, it makes sense. But if I was a kid, I'd been fucking pissed. I got to been
I would accept it. I think because it would be you know what, it's in the stocking, the stocking. Then I don't have to worry about the stocking. It's just I'm getting underwear, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Versus unwrapping a gift and then the gift is underwear and socks. That's a little more disappointing, I think.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we got candy, mostly candy. Yeah, maybe a gift card or something like that.
Yeah.
If to one of our favorite places. But yeah, like I heard that one, and then another one was like they're like, oh, we got like most of our presents in our stocking.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know people that
I was
actually like the stock.
How does that work?
Yeah, the stocking is like the main show for some people.
Yeah, I didn't.
I think it's like a big
heard.
ass. It must be a big ass stocking. That's the only way I'd imagine.
I mean, I guess well, then like gifts have gotten smaller, right?
Very true. Yeah.
Like if you get an iPad or not an iPad, but like an Apple Watch or something, like
Sure.
honestly, most of my gifts to my wife go in her stocking. I'm like, I'm not wrapping this shit, dude. I'm like the worst gift wrapper in the world. It looks like a 3-year-old did it. So I'm just like, just plop it in there. Like she'll open the stocking. It's fine.
My thing with gift wrapping is like I'm way too much of a perfectionist to just like slap it together. So it takes me forever to wrap anything.
Well, that's how I am. Like I want it to be perfect, but then I run out of patience.
Yeah.
And I'm just like just real quick.
Like we wrapped, so Saturday night I think it was, we wrapped gifts after the kids went to bed, and I think Susie probably at least doubled, maybe tripled my output, and she also like took a break during that.
You were like Buddy the Elf, like, all right, how many Etch-a-Sketches did you get done?
Yes, that's me.
You were way below quota.
Yeah, but they're perfect Etch-a-Sketches though.
Yeah, I just thought that was weird. I didn't know. I've never heard that where like people were like, oh yeah, like my main gifts were in my stocking. I'm like, no, like we always just knew we were going to get candy and like something small, like a gift card or something.
Yeah.
So we kind of just hold off, but they're like, no, like we went straight for the stockings.
Did you guys do St. Nick growing up?
No.
So my parents did it for us, but we've not done it for our kids.
No, I don't. It's probably because I'm not Catholic.
My dad was raised Catholic, so I think it was.
So
just
I don't. I mean,
tradition.
I understand what it is. Like I get it, but like at the same time, I'm like, I kind of don't understand. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I never did it as a kid. Danielle, not growing up around here, we grow up around a lot of Catholics. Like in Cincinnati, there's a ton of Catholics. Texas has very, very few of them, and she goes, what is the St. Nick thing? Like, she's like, I see everybody posted about it. Like the first year she was up here, she was like, I don't even know what that is. And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a Catholic, tradition or whatever. But she had no idea even what that is. It's like, it's not Christmas. I'm like, I don't want to overcomplicate things for you. Just know that it's like a Catholic tradition.
Sure.
But we never did it as a kid, and my kids don't do it. But they like come home and because I think it was last week. Right?
Yeah, I think it's like the 6th.
Yeah, and they came home and they're like, so why did St. Nick not come to our house? And I'm like, oh God, here we go. We got to explain this. Like, I don't know, but I never did. I never did St. Nick as a kid.
All right, well, that was a pretty robust Christmas discussion. We've covered a lot of ground the last 2 weeks. We've got one more show left for the year that's not, it's a new show, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll have a couple special shows to get us through Christmas and New Year's before we're back in a big way January 8th. I see you're distracted by the Packers game. What's going on here?
Well, Jordan Love's regressed a little bit. He's got a turnover. It's tied.
Okay.
I may have spoken too highly of him too quickly.
It's a road game. Just get the win. That's all you need.
Unfortunately for you, the Packers' only touchdown was Jaden Reed.
Great. Love to hear that.
I did hit a first touchdown bet with him, though, so I'll take
Well,
it.
congrats to you. My God. All right. We got to get out of here. Now I got to check this.
I was betting on your demise is what I was essentially doing.
God, if you both make money and get into the playoffs on my demise, there won't be another show. We're done.
God.
All right. Well, on that note, I think we're going to get out of here. Let's watch the end of this game.
Yep.
So, see you next time. Cheers.
See ya. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Back 9 Six Pack. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Back 9 Six Pack for all your content needs. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.